For the last few weeks I've been winter prepping. When I've been out on my walks, I've been picking up branches or pine cones or even big lumps of wood. It's amazing what you can find. And if it's been on the damp side, I've been drying it off here in my car with a view to planning. Well, what did I read yesterday? That the government now are planning in a worst case scenario for week-long power outages. It was going to be 2 or 3 hours, maybe 2 or 3 days a week, January and February. Now they're planning for a worst case scenario of a week. Well, if they're planning, I'm planning. So I'll just show you here in this video what I'm going to do with this wood. And then I've had an idea how to increase the light with fairy lights if there's a power outage. And I'll show you how I'm storing these windfall apples that I'm also picking up out on my walks, and people are gifting them to me. And also today the Bank of England has now raised interest rates to 3%, which will be an extra cost for households. So stock up now while you can. Because this garage gets so damp, I have to store any wood or anything like that to keep it dry in plastic. But not far from where I plant my potatoes is actually a barbecue area around the back of this garage block. And I do have this barbecue that I was thinking, worst case scenario, power cuts, having to cook outside. Yes, I could use it as a barbecue, but I could also use it as a fire pit and put metal pans on there and cook on it. Just an extra little winter prep in a worst case scenario. But it's amazing what bits of wood you can find just when you're out walking. Look at these. This is a great idea, to reflect as much light as you can from fairy lights. A nice big vase, fairy lights, an empty cardboard tube, and we're just going to wrap it in some aluminium tin foil. We'll just tuck it over, keep it in place, put it in the middle, and then arrange the fairy lights round it. These are battery operated fairy lights, but I do have solar ones as well. You can also use this if there's a power cut, just to reflect as much light as you can. So I'll bring you back when I've finished, and we'll just turn this other light off and see how much light we get from it. I've changed my mind. I think the easiest thing to do is just spiral the fairy lights round it. And then whatever's left, put on the top. So here we are. I do have one other light on in the living room, just at the other side. It's now 5:30 and it's November the 1st. I didn't wrap it tightly round and I was careful not to twist the wires, but I do think adding the foil to the centre helps reflect, as does the glass. So if you have any tips that we can all learn from, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Let's see what other ways I can prepare for winter that's coming. This is my front door and it's the coldest place in this flat. So this is another winter prep that I have going on. As I'm out walking and if I see windfall apples, I've been picking them up and storing them, and I'm stock rotating, so I keep going through and making sure that they're all right and using the ones that look like they need using. But it's been a really good year for apples this year. I've also got 3 or 4 of these. I think the mushroom crates, there's one in the garage. That one there, look, that one could do with using. You'll see them if they're starting to just go a bit. Some of them as they get older get like a waxy feel. That one's got a waxy feel to it. Although it's got mottled skin, it's perfectly alright. And as they get quite old, they start to shrivel a little bit. But they're still very viable. And I've had apples last right until March stored like this. Just keep going through them, rotating them. But when the trees are just full, use them as a vegetable or in sweet things.